Alright, so I'm gonna say roughly about 2 weeks ago now, I was, I'm in Regget's Discord server, and I realized, that this new, Galaxy Gal Uber came out, supposedly called Pegasa. Obviously, I don't know if that's right or not, because it's a translation. But, yeah, there's a new Galaxy Gal Uber coming out, and I realized that with this new Uber, there's now 11 Ubers. And I thought the cap would be 10 for, like, every set, but apparently now they're going over that, which really made me realize we haven't seen, like, a brand new Uber set in a while. Which, I mean, I guess I could just kind of read what I wrote here. I guess that'll just be a better idea. I basically said, ever since the new Galaxy Gals Uber came out in 13.2, I've noticed that we haven't had a brand new Uber set come out in a long time. Sure, we've had some new stuff like Colossus Busters and stuff like that, but they all contain Ubers from past sets, and at most only include one new Uber. I mean, I guess we've had collab like sets as well, but I mean, even those, like, I think the most recent one that hasn't had anything new, or like that has had something new, I guess. I mean, Metal Slug did, but that hasn't came for EN. Ron the One Half maybe. I don't know, but like collabs aside, we haven't had a lot of new stuff basically. So I wrote here. So I thought I would share some ideas for two new Uber sets that could be added. Both of these sets will be focused more on endgame material, so I think that one should be unlocked after Stories of Legend and one after Uncanny Legends. I'm honestly like, I understand why Ponos hasn't done that yet, but I also do think this could be kind of cool. The theme for these sets is the Sins and Virtues. You would unlock the Virtues set after Stories of Legend and the Sins set after Uncanny Legends. These Ubers are meant to be very powerful and are rarer and stronger than most Ubers, as well as having a 3% chance of an Uber instead of 5%. By the way, you can give these Ubers any name, but I'm just listing what the Ubers would be based off of and what they do. So the reason I mentioned Regget server is because that's where I got the idea for this. Basically, I brought up the fact that we haven't seen a new Uber or a new Uber set in like a long time. So we were talking about like what new Uber sets could be added, and somebody forgot exactly who it was, but they mentioned that there could be a set or two sets, as I made it, based off the Sins and Virtues. Which I mean, Battle Cats might not be the kind of game to like, I don't know, make a set or two based off of that, but it just seemed like a really cool idea. He kind of talked about like some of the abilities the units could have, but basically, I decided to just make this whole like Google Doc about just like what every single Uber would do. Now, I will say a lot of the virtues were like really difficult to do. The sins were easy because, you know, I don't know why. They just were. The virtues not as much, and a lot of them I kind of struggled with. But I don't think I have anything else to really say, so let's just hop right into this. So you can read ahead if you want. Chastity. Basically, actually, I pulled up all the sins and virtues like meanings on my computer, and basically, chastity. I basically just means like how do I explain this? Oh my goodness. Because like I could just read the Google definition, but I don't think I wanna. Basically, just not doing anything bad or just doing the right, basically, and not doing anything wrong. I'm sorry, I'm not good at explaining. My English teacher could probably explain this so much better than me. But basically, I was thinking like, what in Battle Cats would like? There's not really much in Battle Cats that would give the cat units themselves like a bad like mindset or anything like that. I mean, obviously, that wouldn't be the case. So the only thing I could really think of was Relic and Aku. Relics, they curse your units, putting a curse on them. So I made this unit resistant to Relic and have curse immune. And then Aku, because Aku is quite literally the devil. So resist to them as well, as long as Surge immune. So this unit's mostly just meant to be a tank against Relic and Aku. Temperance. This one was really difficult because, like, I looked up Temperance online, and it says, like, I'll just read what it says. Temperance is the moral virtue that moderates the attraction of pleasures and provides balance in the use of created goods. Provides balance. Like, I don't really know, like, what to put. Like, balanced stats, maybe, but, like, what are their abilities going to be? So I kind of just decided to throw together strong versus all traded, freeze and slow immune area attack. I don't really know what else to say besides just that. Charity, this is basically just generosity and helpfulness toward the needy or suffering. And so I decided it would kind of just be a support unit. Now, and because it's a support unit, it's got fast speed, and it, moves up to the front line quick to help out. It can weaken Zombie, Aku, and Relic, which, part of support. I was gonna try to, like, I was thinking, like, if it's trying to help the other units, maybe it could, like, I don't know, heal them or something, but that's not an ability in Battle Cats, and I don't know if that'll ever get added. It'd be cool, but I don't know if it ever will be. So he basically, she, whoever this unit is, just weakens the other enemies and helps the cat unit survive. Conjure, which is knock back and freeze to keep them all away. Zombie Killer, because zombie target. Curse and Surge immunity, because Aku and Relic. And then Area Attack. By the way, every single unit in this list has Area Attack. Like, all sins and virtues. Which, yeah, I still just listed that, though, because why not? Diligence. I'm just gonna, for all these definitions, I'm just gonna read them off Google. Diligence may be described as an attitude exhibiting constant and earnest effort to accomplish what has been undertaken, regardless of the circumstances surrounding a person. So it's basically just trying to get something done and having the mindset to basically accomplish that and not letting anything get in your way. So that's why I decided to give the unit, good health and high damage, a decent speed. I wasn't gonna, like, write down the exact numbers for health and damage, because, I don't know what I was gonna write. But dodge ability, that's basically just not allowing, them to affect your goal, basically. And then strengthen at 33% health, which is to, basically, if they start actually affecting you, then you basically become stronger and, show them really what they've done and what your goal is. I don't know. I still think this is all a really cool idea. And whoever came up with it in my server, his name was like, I don't know, he had a leaf in his name. If you're watching this, hi. I liked your idea, so I did this. Patience. This one was, I actually brought up this one in the Discord server. And, like, we talked about what it could do. Patience would have very high health and damage, good range. However, very, very slow speed. Because they're called patience. And if they just rush up to the front as if they're like Yukimura, then that doesn't really resemble patience all that much. So the idea is that they move very, very slow and just don't do that great. They do great, but they move very slow. However, when an enemy comes up to them, they do insanely good damage to floating Relic and Aku. I've put a lot of Relic and Aku in here because, you unlock this set right after Stories of Legend, so, it's kind of fitting, right? Immune to knockback, weaken, slow, freeze, curse, all that stuff. And area attack. So a very good unit, but just lowered by the fact that it has slow speed. Oh, I didn't read the patience. I think we all know what patience is, right? Because, I don't even think I need to explain that one. Kindness. This is the last one I did. I literally just finished this like 10 minutes ago. And it was, yeah, this one was kind of difficult to do, but, I basically, made this unit similar to Doron, in a way. Has mediocre health. Actually, I should, like, change that to high health. Because, it's like Doron. I don't know, I'll do that later. High damage, 250 range, and then fast speed. I might increase the range as well. But, it only attacks once it dies, like Doron. But instead of having freeze versus Relic, it has knockback and weaken. That's not a word. Knockback and weaken versus Metal, Aku, Relic, and Traitless. So it is pretty good. I didn't include the stats of the weaken. Yeah, I really should have read over this before I actually started recording. Level 5 mini wave. So instead of surge, it has just a quick mini wave that stretches out pretty far. Immunity to all debuffs, and then area attack. Now, okay, what the heck, really? How come my computer that I have all these things pulled up on notifies me that the battery is low when it's on 2% and 2% only? Can you notify me at 10% at least? Alright, there we go. Sorry about that. So that's kindness. And now, humility. Or, hang on, one thing about kindness, actually. I guess the fact that it attacks once only, and then dies, could also mean, the unit is sacrificing itself for the rest of the cat army, which I think is pretty cool. Humility. Humility on Google basically just says, allows selflessness and dignity for a better world. So, this is another one I talked to, that I was talking about in the Discord server, and some other guy actually came up with everything on here, not me. But I just wrote it down because I didn't know what I was going to put. Basically, this unit is a tanker. They have very high health, okay damage, because, they're meant to be a tank, not really a big damage dealer. Fast speed, so they can rush to the front, and then fast attack rate, because their damage isn't that great. And they also have weaken ability. Basically, they have resistant plus weaken versus angels and Aku. And 20% chance of weaken for 4 seconds. They have 20% shield pierce. Omni Strike, I wasn't too sure about putting this one, but, that's what they said, so I put that down. And then slow, knockback, and warp immune with area attack. So that's all the virtues. If you guys think I should, change any of those, or have, a better idea for any of them, especially for, temperance, because I had no clue what to put, let me know. Now we're on to the sins. I actually did the sins first and then the virtues after, because the sins were just a lot easier. But yeah, lust. Lust basically is when a person seeks... I'm not going to read exactly what Google says, because I don't want to say that right now, but basically when somebody seeks just bad things, bad obsessions, whatever, for pleasure. And, forgot exactly what the guy in the Discord server said, because, he also, he wrote, half of these. But, he basically said it would have weaken and slow versus metal, Aku, and relic. Now that I think about it, I don't know exactly how that, fits with lust, but okay. 60% chance of slow for 4 seconds, weaken by 50%, 60% chance for 4 seconds, 50% chance of shield pierce, curse immunity, and area attack. Yeah. Now, gluttony. Okay. Gluttony, it says here, it says, although eating and drinking for pleasure is not seen as sinful, eating or drinking to excess beyond reason is a sin. So because of that, this unit's a really fat tank. Have very high health, pretty good damage, 200 range, but they have also really low speed, because, they're a very fat tank. And you realize when you eat and drink a whole crap ton of stuff, you're not going to be able to run a whole marathon in 5 seconds. You're going to be moving really, really slow. So they have Resistant Floating and Angel, Sage Slayer. I put Sage Slayer for a few of these actually, because what else am I going to put? Freeze Immunity, which I don't even know how fitting that is now that I think about it, but yeah. And then Area Attack. Now, okay, some of these sins I actually did kind of explain on here, so I think I'll just read those. Greed. It says, because the sin is, I'm reading what it says in my Google Doc, because the sin is greed, the idea is that he has double bounty and steals extra money from enemies while they aren't expecting it, due to his long range. This unit has good damage and health, good range, and then good speed as well. And they have double bounty, which is kind of what this unit is focused off of. Slow immune, and area attack. Yeah. Sloth, I kind of like the idea of this one, honestly. So it says, because the sin is sloth, he or she is very lazy and moves very slow. And because they are so lazy, they try to deal as much damage as possible in one hit, so they don't have to worry about fighting that much anymore. Which, I mean, you might be like, well, if they're lazy, how are they going to deal so much damage? Think of it this way. Like, um, I really thought of like a perfect explanation for this earlier. Now I've just forgotten it. Um, so basically, when you're lazy, you kind of just sit around and do nothing and put like minimal effort towards things. However, at the same time, like if you're being lazy and somebody wants you to do something, you often try to get it over with really quick. So that's the idea for this unit, is that they just try to do as much damage as they can so that they can just go back to being lazy. They have Zombie Killer, so that zombies, should be pretty self-explanatory. Critical hit, it's not guaranteed, but yeah. And then area attack. Wrath, how many do we have left? 3. Um, okay. So Wrath says, okay health, so just kind of decent health, but high damage, short range. I should have, that's not meant to be 325 range, that's meant to be a lot shorter, maybe like 225. But they have very fast speed and strengthen. They get their damage doubles at 50% health, basically. Sage Slayer and area attack. This unit's meant to be a rusher, similar to like a Bahamut or Yukimura or Kazukimaru, whatever. It's meant to be just a rusher unit that focused on strengthening. Okay, 2 more. Envy and Pride. Envy has low health. Okay, Envy, I kind of like the idea of this. They have very low health and damage. Pretty okay range, and then low speed. Right off the bat, you might be like, this unit's not that great, what the heck? They have Weaken and Curse versus Angel, Alien, and Floating. Their Curse nullifies the, not the Curse, the Weaken lowers the enemy's damage to only 20% damage. And it's guaranteed for 5 seconds. Same with Curse, guaranteed for 5 seconds. Area attack. Basically, you can think of this unit as like, think of its ability almost like Winged Pig, almost. Where, the Weaken is absolutely insane. However, this unit doesn't have much health or damage. They mostly just go up and just weaken the crap out of enemies. Yeah. Alright, Pride. This is the last one. They have... I'm just going to read the description. I always forget to. Because the sin is pride, which means to turn away from God to serve your own will, this unit is very effective against angels, so that the power of God can't come back to their life. They knock them back to keep God away. They weaken them to weaken God's impact on their life, and they deal massive damage to hurt them. So this unit has good health and damage, not the best range, but good enough, and then medium to low speed. They have massive damage, knockback, and weaken, like I just mentioned, versus angel enemies. 50% chance of weaken, 50% chance of knockback. Sage, both Sage and Colossus Slayer. So I think this unit could be like pretty good. It might work against Exil. I don't know. Maybe. And then actually probably if it has Colossus Slayer plus massive damage, knockback, and weaken, probably. Could also help against freaking Angel Lemur, whatever his name is. So there's that. And area attack. Yeah. So that's my entire list for sins and virtues. Sorry if I didn't really sorry if this really wasn't all that interesting. I was kind of just reading these. I was just like, chastity, all that stuff. moving on. Diligence, all that stuff. Yeah, sorry about that. I didn't really know, like, what to say exactly. I didn't know how to really expand on it, to put it that way. But still hope you guys enjoyed, and I think this is a really cool list that I made. And yeah, I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye-bye.